I told my niece that my husband is dead. 5 years ago, my husband walked out when I was 4 months pregnant. He said he couldn't handle being a dad, packed 2 suitcases, and left. I called him 50 times that night until he finally answered at 3 a.m. to say, "I'm sorry, I can't do this, don't contact me again," and blocked my number. A mutual friend told me 2 days later he'd moved 3 hours away to stay with his college roommate. The real problem started with my niece Ava. She was 6 and loved my husband because he was the only adult who'd sit through her hour-long made-up plays and actually clap at the end. After he left, every family gathering turned into 20 questions about where Uncle Josh was and when he was coming back. My brother tried distracting her, but Ava would just ask the same question 17 different ways until someone gave her a real answer. I started skipping dinners because I couldn't take it, but then I felt guilty because my mom wanted to see baby Mia, and I was isolating myself over questions from a 6-year-old. When Mia was 4 months old, we went to my brother's house for his wife's birthday. Ava ran up with a drawing of our whole family, including Josh holding baby Mia. She asked if I could give it to Uncle Josh so he'd know he has a baby now. I walked outside and sat in my car for 20 minutes. This went on for over a year. Ava asked my mom when Uncle Josh's birthday was so she could make him a card. She asked if Mia looked like him, and yeah, Mia had his exact eyes, and I saw him every time I looked at my daughter. At Christmas dinner when Ava was 7, she said, "Uncle Josh doesn't like ham, he only likes turkey. Is that why he's not here?" The fact that she remembered his food preferences from a year and a half ago broke me. I was exhausted from explaining around the truth and watching everyone get uncomfortable every time his name came up. So I said, "Uncle Josh died, honey, last year. I'm really sorry." My brother's chair fell over when he stood up. My mom's hand went to her mouth, but Ava just got quiet and asked if it hurt when he died, and I said no, it was peaceful. She stopped asking about him after that. My brother cornered me in the kitchen and said, "What the hell is wrong with you?" But his wife came in and admitted she was relieved because the questions were getting awkward for everyone. Nobody told Ava the truth. The next 4 years were so much easier. I could actually enjoy family events. Ava would occasionally say things like, "I wish Uncle Josh could see my science project," but it was wistful, not painful. She'd moved on. 3 weeks ago, Josh showed up outside my apartment building. I was coming home from picking up Mia from kindergarten, and he was sitting on the steps. Mia asked who he was, and I sent her inside while I talked to him. Josh looked like he'd been crying in his car for hours. He said he'd been in therapy, and his therapist told him he needed to take accountability and try to be in Mia's life. I asked him where this was 5 years ago, when I was figuring out daycare alone. He said he'd been a coward, but he wanted to try now. I told him he lost his chance, and he said he never legally terminated his parental rights, so technically he could petition for visitation. That made my blood go cold. I went inside and called my brother, who said not to engage, and if Josh tried anything legal, we'd bury him in back child support. 4 days later, Josh showed up at my brother's house to talk. My brother told him to leave, but Josh was in the driveway explaining himself when Ava got home from her friend's house. She was 12 now and hadn't seen Josh since she was 6, but she recognized him immediately. She dropped her backpack and stared. Josh waved and said, "Hey Ava, wow, you got so tall." She walked up to him. "You're alive?" Josh looked confused. "Yeah, of course, why wouldn't I be?" Ava turned to look at my brother on the porch. "They said you died. Aunt told me you died 4 years ago." My brother called me immediately after. Josh went pale and asked what she meant, and Ava explained the whole Christmas dinner thing. My brother had to tell Josh the truth right there because what else could he do? That Josh left me pregnant, that Ava wouldn't stop asking questions, that I told her he died so she'd stop because I was barely surviving. Josh left, but Ava went inside crying and asked my brother why everyone lied to her. He tried explaining I was protecting her, but she said protecting her from what? The truth? She cried for an hour. Now she won't talk to me at all. I've tried texting and visiting, but she hides in her room.